Margaret-Ann is a hospitality veteran. She has over 4 decades of experience in business. She's been working as an entrepreneur from owning a bar to working every aspect of the hospitality industry, from management to sales to marketing to customer service. She has an entrepreneurial spirit combined with her firm knowledge of the industry, which allows her to succeed. No matter what industry she's in, Margaret-Ann knows that success comes from surrounding yourself with doers who will help you achieve your vision. Margaret-Ann, over to you.
Okay, thanks a lot, Bernie, and thanks everybody for joining us today. I truly appreciate it, and I'm really excited to be talking today about marketing. It's actually a topic I just love. I love the science behind why we buy, who buys, what it takes to get there. And in my experience, no matter what you're trying to accomplish in your business or personal life, every day is an opportunity to learn. And I believe we are all marketing something constantly. So for myself, from the days of having a successful business for distributing newspapers in the neighborhood as a teenager, to owning a bar, several companies in direct sales, a business network, and even creating events and fundraisers. Everything was definitely a great learning experience to understand the benefits for a great marketing strategy, even if at the time I may not have realized the proper terminology. And maybe a few of you can relate to that as well. So what did I do? I spent the last year fine-tuning, learning new skills, being introduced to tools and technologies that can help fast-track the success in marketing with my current partner, Stéphane Mettrel, in Unified Remote Work, who is a digital marketing analyst and a master of workflows. So as Richard Branson, we all know who he is, says, surround yourself with people that are smarter than you. Give them everything they need to grow and your business will thrive. And in the spirit of team, I just like to change that up a bit. And I suggest surround yourself with people that are smarter than you. Figure out what each of you need to grow and your business will thrive. So on that note, let's get started. And first step. So, this is kind of funny when we're talking about going to market today, because as I was mentioning to a few before the call, and I think it's important to share, we all have to start somewhere. So if you're on the call and you're just starting a business, or if you're actually full-fledged in a business and you've got a lot of experience, perhaps you could be a mentor and share your expertise at the end of the presentation. But we're just going to touch on some things about what going to market is today, and coming up with a strategy, and it's basically creating some SMART goals. So I'm the co-founder of, or one of the founders of Unified Remote Work, and I'll just go quickly through this presentation, and then we can do a Q&A and have a conversation at the end. I love to have conversations with everybody because I know there's a lot more smart people out there than me. And anything as we're going along, if you have a question or a comment, just throw it in the chat and we can come back to that later, okay? So as with any plan, there's a few constants. So in this, for example, you're just going to have to know who your ideal clients are. I heard a few of you talking about that when you came on the call. Have a clear goal, and then position your product and execute. So today what we're going to do is focus on these 5 points: preparing to go to market, why webinar marketing, planning your marketing strategy, what's the goal, and how do I get started? So preparing to go to market, again, this is like setting a goal. So you're going to want to consider the plan and the messaging. So who is your target audience? What's your value proposition? What is your product? Are you launching something? Is it a new service? You want to get that really honed down, and it's really best to focus on one thing with everything that you do. And you always hear when you're in business, like, clear, where is this leading to? And learning that with Unified Remote Work, we work with artificial intelligence. One of the things that I will tell you that it has done for me is help me really focus, because it takes the emotion out of the equation and it just sends you. So there's no like thinking about all this. It's like, let's have a clear definition. And then we think about content development. So How are we going to put this out to our audience? Is it our marketing video? Is it how to? Is it landing pages? Are you going to update your website? Where is the content landing? What are you going to create to help with this content development? And then when we're talking about external communication, external is, okay, think about, is it newsletters? How about blog posts? Emails to your users? Is it social media? So those are the external communications, and internal is working with your team. And when you're preparing to go to market, it's hard for everybody to read your mind. So this is really important to remember, I think, too, which sometimes I think we get so excited about things that we may neglect this step, but it's how are we going to update the team that we're working with? Where are we going to collaborate and coordinate on these projects? Are we doing supporting training for them? How are we going to support them? And the last thing is, when we're preparing to go to market, it's a lead generator. So what does that actually mean? Is that going to go to, what kind of call to action is it going to be? Is it going to subscribe them to an email campaign? Is it going to create ambassadors maybe for what your product is? Is it going to be something that you are sharing on social media, or you can put it on your website? Think about, where is this generated? Is it to sell the product? What is the call to action? Where are the leads going to go? Next, we're going to, and I actually, for this is a whole actually workshop on its own, because this is really important before you actually go to the next steps to have this nailed down. So today, like I mentioned, I thought I'd talk about a little bit more about webinar digital marketing. And we're actually also launching some extra services with our Keynote Tuesday, which got started a few years ago with the pandemic. And seeing that there is a demand for people promoting their product or launching a business or whatever, sometimes that's hard to do it by yourself. So, you know, the webinars that we're doing are just one small example of things that could actually help share your business. So I think sometimes when you go to do this, even for me, I shared before, I'm a nervous wreck doing presentations, and I think that that's okay to share. But the big important thing to do is, if you're launching whatever, is to just step out of your comfort zone and do it. And a lot of times we might think, oh, you know what, I don't really have any relevant, I'm not really the expert, I don't really know what to say. I don't have anything of value, but you know, that's really not truth. And whether you are launching a business, or you're doing a demonstration, or you're talking about industry trends that are happening and actually are relevant to your business, or question and answers. And when I say that, it's like, are you making a post on social media and actually everybody's looking at and asking questions? These are all notes that you are taking, right? And you are collecting them all someplace, and those really powerful posts or articles you create, you actually gathered them someplace in a really neat spot. These are all information that are relevant, that you can actually come out and share with the public. So don't think of it as, oh my gosh, I'm afraid to do that, or what would I share? I think that if you go back to all of that, that will take that fear out of that. So again, we're going to just go back to quickly planning your marketing strategy. It's no different whether we're planning a webinar, whether you're planning a goal in your life, whatever it is. It's sitting down and creating a plan. And often that's just setting some SMART goals. So you need to sit back, and, you know, this is when, I'm not sure how many people work with a team, but if you don't, that's something else that Unified, I really liked about it when we got started, was because Stefan, myself, AI, and as people come into our digital ecosystem, you've got people to brainstorm with. So anytime, if you want to have a chat and go, well, I'm not really sure how I could utilize this, I'd love to offer a call and let's have a chat and just do some simple brainstorming. That's what I'm good at. I love to think outside the box. So what is the goal? Are you just starting a new business and you're trying to go, I need some prospects, I need some clients, I don't even have anybody to send an email to. Is it to convert people? So you already have the product and you're trying to convert that into a sale. Is it just strengthening your brand identity? So by actually doing like a webinar like this, now I could actually take this piece of real estate and use it embed on my website. I could share it on social media. I know it's going to go in the Connect Ottawa Resource Center. So there's different things about doing a webinar, even as simple as this, that can actually help you with your brand identity. It establishes you in the industry. So many times, I'm sure there's a lot of you on this call that have a wealth of information, but if we're not going and telling anybody, who else is going to talk about us? And again, one of the reasons I particularly love these type of webinars, because we've had, I don't know, probably a couple hundred speakers over the last few years, or at least over 100, is it gets their word out. We start to get we know a little bit more about you, who you are, what makes you tick. You know, if I'm feeling comfortable, I can reach out. Do I want to do business with this person? So I think there's all sorts of different goals to think about when you're doing this. And with everything, just write it all down. And don't worry about being perfect writing it down. Just write it down, because all this information that you gather and the questions and the things, or when it wakes you up at 3 in the morning and you're going, oh my God, I just had that thought. It all becomes relevant down the road. I don't believe anything happens by chance. So really consider, what's the goal? Again, just highlighting, is it the products? Is it what type of promotions and discounts maybe you're going to offer? How many deals do you want to close? And specifically like that. If you're on a call, if you're reaching out, if you're doing those 10 calls a day, it's no different than that. What's your closing ratio? How many people do you want to connect with? What is that goal? And going back to webinar, there are different ways you can do it. So if you're totally going, oh my God, okay, I really need to practice this 3 or 4 times, or, I'm just going to record myself, or I need somebody to record so I feel comfortable and I can go through it. Think about that. You could host a live, you could do a recorded, and you could do even automated webinars. So a lot of times this way, it's a lot more personable because we've got people in the view slot, but you'll also see a lot of people just do a straight webinar. So in all honesty, you don't really know who is attending. But the fact is now you've got this little piece of real estate or video that you can actually use for your marketing as well. And again, always remember, what are you going to talk about? Yeah, remember, it's not about you, it's about your audience. And I'm looking at your faces on the screen and I just keep going, isn't that so important? And because so many times we get wrapped up with what we're going to do, it's just like we're blah, 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 blah. But is that what the audience really wants to learn? Well, one of the things that we did behind the back office, and actually I know Willie's on the call here and he probably doesn't even know, because I'll be totally upfront. The last few years have definitely been another learning experience, kind of coming into this online business, not doing everything effectively like I probably did more in person, because I ran a business network. So I was really good on the phone, following up and doing it. And I wasn't doing a very good job here. I seemed to get all discombobulated when the pandemic hit, what we were doing, a lot of stuff happening, creating things. And I go, oh my gosh, okay, so I didn't do that. But what we did do is we had surveys. So even though we're a little late, I started going back through the surveys, and it was interesting to see that a lot of people wanted to learn about what does go-to-market mean? What does it take? What do I really have to do? And so hence, that is where this webinar came. It took me a bit to step out of my comfort zone to do this in person. But I'm realizing if we're doing this for everybody else, then I'm going to have to get comfortable with myself. So some of you, again, may be seasoned, like Willie. I'll point out Willie because he's very calm, and if you knew his history, you probably know why. He was sharing a little bit about how he got to where he where he was. But if this is something new to you, this is a perfect and ideal spot to do this, because I want this Connect Ottawa call to be warm and welcoming and take that fear factor out of it. So if you're going, I don't know what to say or whatever, hey, that's what we're here for. We are all here to help you in business. And whether it's Connect Ottawa or unified remote work, that's the objective. So a little bit more, I'm going for the doers, the ABC of a webinar event, and a little bit of the back office and how you can get started with this. Well, first of all, you have to schedule it. So I will share a link at the end of the presentation where we came up with a few offers that you could actually schedule an event with us. And but it's thinking about levering partnerships and affiliates. So whenever you're going to do something, it's also a good idea just to step back and don't do it just for the sake of doing. And I know we all get better with practice, but think about who could benefit, who should you have in your audience, who would you like to ask out, who would you maybe even like to have a interview with and bring into the conversation. So those are ways that you could do when you're doing a webinar. Invite a guest speaker. So although I'm here, there is no reason why, as I get more comfortable, I will share the next time, is invite a guest speaker, get their opinion. Find leaders in your field that could come and speak and actually solidify what you're doing. What I love about this, that's a little bit more like the collaboration. You find somebody that is doing something like you chat about it, and then you figure out how you can help each other, because there is no way that let's face it, when we rock and roll, that we could actually host every webinar. So maybe there's somebody else out there going, you know, this is a cool idea, but this is what I could do. So in your industry, also think about what can happen when you schedule a webinar or reach out and start talking to somebody. And just again, showcase yourself as the thought leader. And you're not sure where to start? Well, like I mentioned, I'm going to share with you a little bit later our keynote presentation and how you can get started. So if you're going to do something, they suggest plan lead time for 2 weeks before, because this gives everybody an opportunity to remember the event. Now, Bernie, I will say, has done an amazing job of pushing events out, and we have meetup and everything. So I think there's 2 ways of looking at this. Sometimes you get over inundated, like, you know, with meetup and stuff, or sending out a thing, but it's to keep people on the forefront of their mind. So if they like what you're going to be talking about, that they're going to show. So how can you do that? You can maybe reward your participants with a gift. I like this, like run a mini promo with a fun hashtag. So there's another reason to have a chat with with your team or with a person that's going to help you do the webinar. What is something fun that will make you stand out, that you could talk about each other? And of course, shamelessly promote yourself. That was a little hard, but hey, I actually went and promoted myself on my LinkedIn today. And I share this with you because I know some of you are seasoned and some of you are starting out. I've always been good behind the bar scenes. I've been good at running events for everybody else, maybe not so good. So think about this, like, you know, if we are not talking about what we can do, how does anybody know? And I'm pretty sure that I've got a lot of secrets up my sleeve that people have no idea, because I don't really talk about it. So, and why do you want to do this with your participants? Well, it's going to make them feel valued. You're going to increase attendance, because we're going to get smart. We're going to say, hey, bring a guest. And maybe it's bringing a guest is going to offer a next little promotion. So again, this is all sitting back in other private or in other groups or conversations and just having a real strategy session. What are we going to do? How are we going to make them feel special? How are we going to get them out there in our tenants and spread our word? And then, of course, after the event, that is, you know, I'm sure you've heard, the fortune is in the follow-up. So it's reconnect. Everyone is absolutely a lead. And if not a lead, as far as like a sale for your business, it might be someone helping promote, maybe it's a collaboration for something else you have in common. But absolutely, whoever has shown up has got some type of interest in what you are promoting, and it is really important to follow up and, you know, thank them, direct them, and do that. So, and as I mentioned here, you know, determine the status. They might be a client, they might be a new referral. And then strategize your next step. So before you do this, it's always good to sit back and think, okay, well, where am I going to What is the call to action? If nothing else, where do I want to take them? Do I want to take them to a newsletter? Do I want to get their feedback? And for those that have participated in our Connect Ottawa calls, you will notice that you will get a survey after the call, usually, that gives you a Q&A to answer questions. Are you inviting them to a workshop, a future webinar? These are all key things to remember when you're doing it. And really, whenever you do any type of plan, again, I'm going to just keep referring back to SMART goals. It's about sitting down, planning, preparing, and then executing. So why am I excited about this? Well, as mentioned, I am with Unified Remote Work, as well as a founder of Connect Ottawa. And it was being introduced to the right people at the right time. And as I mentioned earlier, it led me on a year's journey of understanding what I didn't know, learning more. I mean, a lot of times, and even right now, maybe I'm not totally clear on the terminology, but I get the whole concept. So it was very important for me to align myself with the right SaaS and service provider, which ended up being Unified Remote Work. We have software to maximize your rate of return, and a webinar platform with marketing capabilities for web hosting from start to finish. So literally what I liked about Unified Remote Work when I got introduced to it, as far as marketing or webinars or whatever, it was your business on wheels. When I mentioned I owned a pub, or you'll find anybody doing that right today. I mean, back then that was, I'm not going to say how many years, but right now it would probably be like $10,000 a month to open the doors. So for what we offer, this is like opening your virtual office where you can work with a team of people, have artificial intelligence on your side, and catapult your results. And how do we do that? Well, I'll say, when I came into the mix, I was the master of relationships, and I love business development and thinking outside the box. When I met Stefan, he has a lot of things up his sleeve. He's a digital marketing analyst, and he is a master of workflows. So we are a total complement to each other, because both of us needed help in what the other was not really great at. So when you're looking at this and doing it, like, think about a team of people to take you to the next level that may not know what you don't know, or they know what you don't know, I guess. And then I like to call our artificial Rosie and Ken, because again, they are the master of decision making. And literally, this is not a scary thing. The scary thing is working with this for the past year and a half is it totally keeps you on track. And sometimes I might get a little noise with Rosie and Ken, because they keep me a little too much on track and offering solutions and stuff. But this is a team that we have that can support you with your marketing and business needs as part of Connect Ottawa. And on that note, what I'm going to do, because I've shared this, oh yeah, I like this quote: social media is like a gallery to showcase all of the value of your products. It can tell the world why they are different from the others. So when you walk through, create a plan, figure out who your audience is, what you're going to do, what your message is, that's when the magic actually